So you did it. You finally did it. You got on LinkedIn. You met the recruiters. You got into the point where you're interviewing, 8 to 15 interviews. You're sitting down with them. You've worked through all of them. They asked you multiple questions and you earned the job. Well done. Congratulations. Next up, you move across the states. You move into your new apartment or new house. You get settled in there. And it's day one. You go into the conference room to meet your new team. You realize right then and there, you are going to need to build a high performance culture in order to get your team to the next level, because you just promised your new boss that you're going to hit those KPIs, if not surpass them. How do you do that? I'm about to show you, and I'm excited on how to do so. So welcome back. So we're in there. You're with your team day one. The best thing that you can do is set the expectation with clarity and purpose. You need to let your team know why you're there, what you intend to do, how you plan to bring them on board with you, developing them, taking them to the next level. Day one is so critical on how you're going to do that, because you need to get them on board as soon as possible. And you're going to have a couple that are going to challenge you or not maybe feel comfortable and not understand you. That's up to you as the new leader to show them how you are going to do that. And the best way is to start right out of the gate on day one. So clarity and purpose, clean and clear. So number two is to hire for attitude and train for excellence. What do I mean by that? You may have a great team. You might have some people with some really good attitude on your team. You might be asked or tasked with hiring somebody. My response to you is to bring those people that have a really good learning, open to learn attitude. And then I want you to pour everything that you can into them. Really use them, and you be their mentor. Mentorship programs are so critical and so key. I was fortunate enough to have multiple mentors pouring into me. I can think of 4 of them right off the top of my head that have poured in with excellence and pushed me to the level where I felt even uncomfortable at sometimes. But because of those people, they forged me to become the leader that I am today, and I really owe that to them. I want you to be that for someone else, but it starts with a good attitude. I know when I was coming up through the ranks, I had a good learning mentality. You need to have that in order to be able to kind of get to greater heights. So hire for attitude, but train for excellence. Number 3, you want to set standards, not just goals, right? Standards, performance standards, expectations, setting the team up for excellence versus just doing the minimum goals in order to get by. If you can get your entire team on board with reaching a goal by striving for excellence versus doing the bare minimum, you're going to be so far ahead of the game. It's unbelievable. But they need to see that you're in it to win it. They need to see that you care, that you're after it, you're pushing as well. That way they can get behind you as their leader and potentially be leaders to their subordinates in a way that they've never been able to do. So instead of just setting up minimal KPIs and goals, if there is a goal, a standard, a KPI for the organization, I want you to take that and go to the next level with it without being told from your superior. If you can do that, you're going to win in a big way. Number 4 is to build psychological safety with radical candor. And what I mean by that, people need to know that they can come to you, vent to you, express concerns, and then you handle that and deal with that the proper way. Showing emotion, empathy, all those things to help them feel good about coming to you when there is a concern. I think if you build that the psychological safety, you're going to be well off with your team. They're going to trust you. They're going to lean in. They're going to build with you, and that's what you want. Number 5 is just to celebrate small progression steps versus perfection. Perfection is not always achievable, but small progressive steps are always the building blocks of bigger things to come. Get your team on board by celebrating these wins. They'll feel better about it, and they'll progress forward in a very timely manner. In time, those small steps will grow into quicker steps, quicker and quicker, building to success faster and faster, and your whole team will be on board. You got to be able to measure the progression though. Understand where we started from, how do we measure it, and then show progression on it and be able to measure that. In the end, you don't know if you really made improvement unless you measure it in the first place. Those small progression steps will help you get there, trust me. Once they see the measurement after they've completed something, So they're going to be so much more excited to lean into bigger things to come. Number 6 is to make accountability a shared language. And what I mean by that is everybody should know that there's some type of performance metric, some kind of standard or minimum standard, some type of scenario that you guys measure together in order to achieve success. If you don't know what those metrics are, you need to sit down together and establish them. A really good way to do this is in my one-on-ones, I'll sit down with maybe a subordinate or team member, and I'll go over what would be their scorecard or some kind of KPI that they're working on. And I'll ask them, how do you think you're doing against your scorecard? They'll come to me with their thoughts, some positives, some opportunities, things of that nature, and then I'll align with them on my perspective of that. When we leave the meeting, we're both kind of in alignment on next steps and what we need to do to move forward in order to achieve. You can only do that if you have proper measuring in place so you both know what the shared accountability is. Number 7 is to really design those rituals that are going to help establish the culture that you're after. Culture does not happen on its own. You need to make it happen. And you do that through daily key principles that are helping you achieve that and take your team to the next level. If you just hope that it happens, it's more than likely not going to happen. If you make it happen through reinforcing, through doing steps 1 through 6, you're going to establish a culture that will take your team to the next level, and you'll be unbeaten from a performance standpoint. Not only will you have that, you'll have awesome succession planning. You're going to have key development. You're going to have mentorship programs in place. You're going to have employee engagement. You're going to do a lot of these things that just you hear people talk about, but very few ever live. I'm really excited for you on step number 7 here. And finally, number 8, you got to lead by example. If your team doesn't see you doing it, they're not going to do it, or at least not buy-in. You always have independent self-starters. Yes, you do. But when you look at a team of 8, 10, 15, 20, not everybody's going to be a self-starter. So they're looking you as their leader to lead by example. Now, this doesn't mean you go in there and do all their work. Some people misconceive that. You as the leader need to be able to direct. You need to be able to assess. You need to adapt. And then you need to lean into and implement instruction for them to be able to perform. All of those things are important, but they need to see that you're not afraid to do the work. One of my mentors that I mentioned earlier, he said, just do the work. Those words stuck with me years later, and I found out that it's so beneficial. If the team sees you doing the work, they lean in, they buy into what you're trying to establish, the culture you're trying to set, which in this case is a high performance culture. And I want you guys to be able to experience that as I have, because it's just an amazing thing once you unlock that key. It's like I can't describe the excitement it is when you can almost kind of sit back, assess everybody doing their thing and performing at that next level, when you got there, it wasn't like that, and you were a part of that. I want that for you guys. So there you have it, 8 effective strategies to help take you to a high performance culture. I want you to set the culture for your teams. I think you're going to enjoy it. Once you get there, there's no feeling like it, and nobody can stop your team. I think if you've been a part of a team like this, you understand what I'm talking about. Please comment in the notes below. Have you been a part of or led a high performance culture, and what kind of results did that yield? I'm sure the community would be glad to hear it. Anyways, like, share, and subscribe. And please, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so we're looking forward to you joining our community. Have a great evening.